Over the years, competitors to the Honda Civic have been very few, but what's even more rare are rivals to the Honda Civic Coupe.
Now, Richard's absolutely right. Many have tried and failed in the past, but none of them have been able to compete with the car's sporty driving experience, its price, its reliability, and its exterior styling.
But it looks like the other H brand is ready with a brand new alternative. It is the Hyundai Elantra Coupe, and it looks like it's ready to go head-to-head with the two-door Civic. All right, here's the breakdown on the better looking vehicle, making 148 horsepower as well as 131 pound-feet of torque. The drivetrain for this car is front-wheel drive, and the available transmissions are 6-speed automatic or 6-speed manual. When it comes to fuel numbers, they are comparable to what you would find in the Civic.
The Civic Coupe has a familiar 1.8-liter 4-cylinder engine that comes with either a 5-speed manual or an automatic. It's also front-wheel drive. It makes 140 horsepower and 128 pound-feet of torque and gets improved fuel economy over last year's model. It gets 28 miles per gallon in the city and 39 out on the highway. It also gets 32 miles per gallon combined. Pricing starts at $16,545, but our tester cost a little more than 20 grand.
All right, have a good look. The Elantra is what the Civic would like to be. In fact, I gotta think it's a bit of a Civic in an alternate universe, but way better than that. Look at the front fascia, the lighting design, the grille definitely has presence. Look at the rims, bold and brash, not available on the Civic. Also the side mirrors, they've got markers which definitely say, hey, let's be fancy. And overall, the body is fluid, a design that the Civic doesn't really have in my opinion.
In terms of exterior styling, the 2012 Civic Coupe has a few things I particularly like about it. The revised front grille is especially good, although honestly, I'm not in love with it. What I am in love with is the way that the roofline translates into the rear lights, leaving the car looking clean and understated, unlike the hey, look at me Hyundai Elantra.
All right, we're inside the Elantra. It's the better looking of the two vehicles, and I'll tell you why. First up, the steering wheel. It's got a standard leather-bound steering wheel, and I think that Hyundai has done a really good job lately as making something that people like to use, like to drive. The controls are all in the right place, at your thumb tips, easily accessible. One of the things I found when I was driving this vehicle is I didn't mind the ergonomics on the inside. I feel like they're extremely comfortable, but when it came to the buttons, it wasn't so great in the daytime. As for in the evening, the illumination looks great, really easy to use. Love the center dial for volume and more. This works very well. When it comes to the seating in the Elantra, you've got sporty seats. They're leather in this particular model, as well as they are standard heated seats, a bonus that you don't get in the Civic. And when it comes to sitting in the back, adults can be there comfortably, whereas in the Civic, it feels a little tight. Also, the trunk space, way bigger than what you would find in the Civic. And just to be a jerk, the Civic has 2 cup holders. The Elantra has 6.
My tester comes with the EX trim, and I have a love-hate relationship with the car because of that. Now, that's because next to the Elantra, it has an outdated looking center stack and ugly cloth seats. And honestly, to me, that's not necessarily a bad thing for 2 reasons. One, when I got into the car for the first time, I knew exactly how to use it. There were no question marks. 2, those cloth seats are ugly, yes, but they're very comfortable and they support my lower back in a way that the Elantra simply doesn't. And that means more to me than style after a long day in the office, hands down. I can't say the same thing about the rear seats. Unfortunately, they're cramped and you can forget about taking taller passengers along for the ride.
Driving the Elantra Coupe is agreeable, and the reason why I say that is because it is not a sporty ride. It is a relaxing, smooth ride. This car is just right both on the highway and within the city. The drive is comfortable. Overall, when I drove the Civic Coupe, it was one thing. It was actually basic. And driving the Elantra Coupe, it's basic, but it's better basic.
All right, so on paper, the Elantra has the Civic beat. This is where the Civic wins though, on the road. The driving feel is much better. Everything about it's nimble. The steering wheel is fantastic. Honda's VTEC engine is another place where it really just beats everything else out. Now, the thing is, when you rev this car out, it feels smooth. It feels good. When you're driving the Elantra, it feels heavy. It's nicer in the sense that it's got the leather, it's got the nice appointment, but at the same time, you're giving up the driving experience and the connectivity to the road that you get driving the Honda. Now, the other thing that I absolutely love about this car is the fact that the radio is easy to tune. That might seem like a small thing to some people, but the fact is, the first time I got in this car, all I had to do was boink, poke the Cyclops in the eye, and before I know it, the double gauge here gives me a picture of where I'm tuning the radio. It's very easy to use. I don't even have to take my eyes off the road. In the Elantra, I struggled to figure out how to tune the radio for the first few minutes. Now, some people will criticize the Honda for being too old, outdated, but at the same time, I have an appreciation for how simple and how old school it is because I know how to use this car without even having to know how to use this car. The only other complaint I have is the fact that the window is slanted to the point where it actually picks up a reflection of the speakers and the behind area for the headrests, making it actually very difficult to see out of the car. Aside from that though, there's no question in my mind, the better driving experience, the more engaging driving experience comes from the Honda Civic.
All right, we have taken the cars out, looked at them front to back, inside and out, and we've driven them to find out what exactly we like and we dislike about these vehicles. Luke, how do you feel about the Honda Civic two-door?
The Civic is a much more engaging driver's car. It offers an experience that the Elantra simply can't deliver. Now, for me, it's all about the driving experience. So, it's the Honda Civic all the way.
All right, well, I'm going to stick to my guns and go with the Elantra Coupe, and I'll tell you why. It's refreshing, it's stylish, it's comfortable, it's got superior cargo space, as well as got great fuel economy.
Well, each car has its advantages, and it really comes down to what you want. On the one hand, the Elantra has style and comfort. On the other, the Civic offers affordability and identifiability.